this happens in every family physician's office in the country, and that we not have to have these centralized places where people have to go, where they get stigmatized. That's a pipe dream right now. I mean, it just is not happening, and I don't see it happening very soon. So we now have to come up with an alternative model, like this hub and spoke kind of system that other places have done. I think New Hampshire's relatively young in that process, so I'm not exactly sure how that's going to work out. Time will tell.
It's not really my area of expertise. I know that as part of the district waiver for Medicaid, the sort of 5-year experiment of integrating primary care and behavioral health, the state is cut into regions. That part of the activities that those regions have to engage in are sort of different levels of treatment and care, and that peer recovery is an essential portion of that. And there's a lot of development around resource capacity and curriculum, but it's not where I live every day. So I know that it's recognized that it plays an important role, and I don't know what the investment is in that. I don't know what the long-term plan is around capacity, but someone who works in that division could definitely tell you that. It's not the level of workforce that my office specifically focuses on, because I can't do all of them, and we're really focused on the people who are attracted by loan repayment. As you can appreciate, as a peer recovery worker, you probably don't have a lot of outstanding student loans related to your medical profession. So that's not an area, but I know that it's come up, and I know that the state, big S, folks that I work with are very open to what's working in other places and whether or not it can adapt and work in New Hampshire.
Very good.
Okay.
Well, I want to thank the panelists for coming and helping us talk about this great film. I think it's a really great film and very realistic. Any final words before we say goodnight?
I really like the part where he said he needs to find the light in everybody. I think that
You gotta go first.
that just made a few palpitations.
What he said.
Yeah. Elisa?
There's another film about a provider in Vermont who's a primary care provider who got into doing treatment because like all of his patients have an issue, like these children were babies and they grew up and had addiction issues, and so he was serving their needs. This film and that film, for me, I used to do community work, I don't anymore. And so for me, it's a reminder that the numbers on the page and the data and the statistics and the people that we talk about are people. And I love remembering these people, and also the providers and what we're asking you to do. I love looking at this and saying, is there something that I can do in my office that helps you in some small way continue to serve these people?
That film is The Hungry Heart.
That's it, yeah, it's fantastic.
So I do agree. I think the light part definitely gave me some palpitations and flutters. But I think the other thing that really struck me about this film was the concept of what we call ACEs, or adverse childhood events. And so statistically, you can look at a population and say, if we have an increased number of ACEs within a population, the likelihood of substance use, the likelihood of crime, the likelihood of all these potential health outcomes increases drastically. And to look at these communities, and to look at particularly rural communities, and look at the number of ACEs that happen, and what are the interventions that we can take to help reduce, first of all, ACEs from happening in the first place, but then also to help manage that going forward, so that children have the opportunity to go to school, they have the opportunities to be successful and live healthy lives going forward. So what are the nudge points that we can really help the community that way? So that really struck me as well.
Great point, Phil.
We were just saying that that's a great
segue
intro
to next
into
month.
Won't You Be My Neighbor with Mr. Rogers and trying to mitigate ACEs in the community. Oh, it's all just one circle, but
Yeah, definitely.
That was a plan.
thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much.